Hey, welcome to Failcraft. I'm Hammy, and we're going to be jumping in our second part of our new hero introduction to Sylvannas, Windrunner, the new hero in Heroes of the Storm. We're going to be jumping in with Sylvannas and seeing how she works out when we get into a game situation. So with the new nice UI that's been updated, Heroes of the Storm, of course, in beta at the moment, you should head on over. You can, of course, buy your way in if you want to with a Founders Pack. Go check that out on the Blizzard store, or you can still sign up for potentially one of the free keys that are going around, but beta is here and live. Righty then, let's jump on in. We're going to be grabbing Sylvannas, and having done a little play and learn, where we've taken a little bit of a look at her abilities in try mode. If you want to take a look at Sylvannas' abilities in some more detail, click the link in the middle of the screen now. That will tell you to a video where we run through Sylvannas' abilities and talents. What we are going to be doing now is jumping into a game and seeing how she works out in a game context. Now we're taking her in as level 1, so that means that we're not going to have all expert talents and abilities unlocked just yet, so do bear that in mind. Of course, watch trip into the Nexus would be complete without a fancy pants mount. Let's make sure that we grab our fancy mounts, the Nexus Charger. And we're going to go for a quick match, so if you're playing a new hero, would very much recommend that you jump into
for the Forsaken.
a quick match and try it out in a non-competitive context, something where you can learn happily. And of course, remember, you can always play in practice and cooperative. You can play cooperative against bots that way, no pressure on you whatsoever. Quick match is of course just a fun match against humans, which is always good too. So we'll see how we go with Sylvannas. The queue may be a little bit slow because probably a lot of people want to be playing Sylvannas at this point in time. So we'll have, there we go. I speak too soon. So we are queuing up with none other than a bunch, no healers, that could be a little bit challenging, but this is quick match. Malfurion is kind of a support, so that should be okay. We have 2 melee assassins, a reasonable range specialist in Azebo, and we're going to be playing on Cursed Hollow. So Cursed Hollow, for those of you who aren't familiar, that is the explanation on the screen in front of us, but basically tributes spawn around the map. You need to click those. When you have 3, you curse the enemy team, and that curse means that forts don't attack. Curse minions only have 1 health. It effectively gives you the ability to push your opponent's base or your opponent's forts and structures for a short period of time and do a lot of damage and open up the lanes. So Heroes of the Storm, if you're new to this kind of thing, you kind of need to balance 3 things. You need to balance winning your lane and farming mobs in your lane against being involved in team fights with your team and making sure that you can support your team. So there's no point winning your lane or farming everything in your lane if your team is dying in every team fight that happens. And ditto, you can be in every team fight, but if you're not farming mobs for XP, then your team's level is not going to increase, you're not going to get access to your new abilities as quickly, you're not going to be able to do as much damage, etc. The third thing you need to take into account, of course, is not only balancing being in your lane with supporting your team, but also map objectives. So on Cursed Hollow, these tributes that you can see in front of us are very much an example of map objectives. You can win games of heroes if you're with a good team, or playing with great teamwork without focusing too much on the map objectives, but generally speaking, the map objectives are pretty important. They're not so important that ignoring them, that not getting the odd 1 or 2 will really make you suffer, but if you ignore them for a long period of time, then it's going to be, and your opponent is taking them totally uncontested, then it will cause problems, because generally the map objective will allow a decent amount of pressure from your opposing team, and that pressure over time, if they keep taking them, if you keep losing them, will probably translate into a bit of a game advantage for them. Righty-ho. So we're just waiting for ourselves to load in. We can have a little bit of a think about what Sylvannas can do. Sylvannas is a range specialist, so range specialist wise, she's very, very good at laying down some damage and pressure on not only turrets and towers, but other bits and bobs. Okay, finally getting in. Okie dokie, so apologies for the wait. Okay, let's jump on in.
Hero has left the battle.
Of course.
What are we going to be going for?
Welcome
I'm going to go
back.
for increased withering fire range to start with, and that gives me more range. I could have had a reduced shadow dagger. I'm going to play safe to start. Of course, because we're playing at level 1, we're just going to have a little bit of an idea as to how Sylvannas can play.
Let us defend this fort.
And we're not going to have all of the
4,
heroics.
3, 2, 1.
Done.
Let the battle begin.
Okay, so I'm going to jump on in and get the watchtower. Always useful to start with. We've got a couple mid, couple bots, all covered for the time being. So the 3 bottom are covering. I'm going to start farming in the top lane. So Sylvannas has got a bit of a pushing ability. Shadow Dagger can help her clear camps pretty quick. Withering Fire can also help that depending on the talents, and Haunting Wave gives you the ability to jump around, be nimble and start dodging. Okay, we've got 3 in the bottom lane and we've already lost Nazebo. Not the greatest start in the world. So I'm going to start pushing this top group. When we come with Shadow Dagger, I'm also going to start hitting Withering Fire.
Welcome back.
The moment is upon us.
Now comes Junzi, need to make sure I get away. We're playing Zeratul as a melee kind of chap there. So I'm going to go hit the healing fountain, get myself healed up, get myself back into the fray. Haunting Wave, of course, I can use for attack. I can also use for defense. Using attack, you see me pretty much pressuring there. Someone calling for help in the mid. I'm going to go mid. Assist looks as though it's a 2v1. Let's see if I can help out Kerrigan. It's only a 1v1 in the top lane at this moment in time. So,
Slay this so-called hero.
right, gives me the ability. Oh, I got caught there very, very badly. Silly of me. I committed MOBA sin number 1. Don't look at one place while your hero is travelling in another. I would have been able to dodge that. So
There's
a
no
very
rest
silly
left
and
for me.
foolish death there by me. It's a very bad idea to look around the map like this while your hero is just running like Sylvannas was there.
Forward.
Generally keep an eye if you're going through dangerous territory. So I'm going to very carefully make my way back up here. Make sure I practice what I preach and I'm keeping an eye on things. 3 in the top lane now. I'm going to indicate that I'm on my way, and I fully expect that we'll see them retake that watchtower.
Forward.
Sylvannas, oh, we can see Valor is messing around at the bottom there. I'm going to see if I can engage. So we can now see the closing ability there, but it's Sylvannas versus Sylvannas, so I'm going to move back.
Do not
Choose
test
a
my
talent.
So I'm actually going to burst on top of Sylvannas there, but could be very close to getting
Gather
killed.
tribute and earn my favor.
And Malfurion takes the bullet for me. So Black Arrow's duration, longer Black Arrows are free Withering Fire at max charges. I think a free Withering Fire would be pretty good. Let's go for that. Now a tribute is spawned, so we need to run down and grab a hold of that tribute as quickly as we can. However, we can see, of course, the enemy team on the map there, trying to close in as well. Ooh, not so good in terms of the team fighting here. We need to make sure that we take control of that. Too late, the enemy's got the tribute. So I'm going to jump on in and help back up my team in this bottom lane. Our team is behind on kills, that's never a really very good thing. No kills whatsoever yet. Kills, of course, giving more XP, giving faster levels. You can see we're pretty much a level behind at this point, which affects the amount of damage we do and receive, but also affects naturally the talents and abilities that we have. So, one of the key points is who gets to level 10 first. If you get to level 10 early, then you get your heroics, hero abilities before anything else. So, a very bold early play here by our team actually going for this. I think we're going to get away with it just about.
Hero has left the battle.
quite early to be taking this boss golem, but it will help us in terms of pushing a lane, very much so. However, it looks like we're going to lose a turret at the top in exchange for this though, so real question is this golem going to help us do something solid? Right, to get in there nice and quick, everyone runs in. I'm going to try and escape, because I'm on pretty low health. Ooh, now we're low health here. I don't know if we have position on this one because there's 4 of them in the bottom lane. Oh. So that was a good example of trying to use Haunting Wave to get away there. Now I'm just too low. What is the best way to catch up on XP? Is it bruiser camps or kills? Generally speaking, if you can farm minions in lanes quickly, that's a very good way of catching up on XP as a team. The bruiser camps, the mercenary camps you've mentioned will help, but it's generally speaking, I think minions are quicker.
Do not test my patience.
Just because you can kill them more quickly. But of course, the bruiser camps do give XP as well, so we can still Sylvannas. Valor here in the bottom lane doing some good farming. So you can see that because they are the opposing team killed that so fast. And there we go. Managed to catch out Valor there very nicely. I'm going to go for Shadow Dagger because I think, ooh, I'm going to go in here. There seems to be a little bit of a team fight going on. Nazebo is low, I might be able to capitalise there if I can flank him. Very nicely done. One of those, then going to send a wave of those in, close enough, and then throw down all of my Withering Fires. So that's an example of how you can do some nice DPS. It's also an example of how you can use Haunting Wave like we discussed to close gaps. So because we're behind in level wise, I'm not going to go chasing. I'm just going to sit here and throw down some spells in lane. It's a 3v3, that's probably not too good. We need to take that tribute if at all possible. There we go, another down, but I need to see if I can get away. So because we're, oh no, we're actually even on team members. Okay, in comes the fight. I'm going to try and throw out this. It's going to be very close. We do have an amount of people here, but Kerrigan is very, very low on health. Kerrigan manages to get away there. I'm going to see if I can focus this person down, but no, we just got flanked, and because we were split in that team fight, it's going to be very, very painful indeed. So enemy team is going to get tribute number 3. Enemy team did a very good job on tributes. Now you can see the curse of the Raven Lord in effect for 1 minute. So you can see we have the debuff above gates. None of these are going to fire back.
The curse falls upon you, heroes.
And all of our minions, you can see, also have 1 health only. So our opponents are going to be able to push very, very fast. It does a little bit depend, so you can see exactly how quickly our opponents are going to be able to lay siege to our base here. It's going to be pretty painful. Banner getting a little bit caught there. Ooh, I'm going to get caught there now. A little bit greedy of me thinking I could burst down Valor, and there's still a lot of them out in lane. So yeah, it does a little bit. You can see we're 3 levels behind now. So, a little bit of a learning experience here.
Your fort has fallen.
So I'm going to go up top for the time being. I'm not going to chase up those two there. Might be a little bit dangerous, but I'm going to try and get a little bit of damage, a little bit of XP back by farming those mobs. So remember, of course, Withering Fire is going to target the nearest. If you kill a minion, then it gives you another charge of Withering Fire back. Finally, we're 3 levels behind, we get our heroics. Probably do a little bit of lane farming, see if we can get these back. But mercenaries would be pretty good at this point in time. Let's see if we can grab some mercs.
Of course. What are we but slaves to this torment? Of course.
Yeah. It does depend on the lane advantage a bit. I'm not going to lie, I'm no expert as to what's giving more XP, but we can certainly have a look at that together. But generally farming the mobs in lane is quicker, but I'd imagine that killing the bigger mercs, so you can see we're actually killing the enemy mercenaries here. They're giving, you can see the big chunks of XP if you take a look at how fast that XP bar is going up. These bruiser knight mercenaries, they seem to be giving us a big chunk of XP. So they seem to be pretty handy as well. Just going to head to the bottom lane here. I think we're going to have to try and interrupt our opponents a bit. Oh. Again, I committed the cardinal MOBA sin of not looking where I was running, and have suffered for that.
Mercenary
You
camp.
had best hurry.
Alrighty, so we're not going to grab that boss tribute. We've reset the whole tribute cycle. If we can get our level back, then this is not too awful. We have lost the entire front of our base. Our opponent hasn't lost any. We're definitely behind, both on map position and on level in general at this point. I'm not going to be able to get to that tribute in time, so I'm actually going to leave that alone. I'm going to try and see if I can help our team out in this team fight, because we're in a very key stage here for the boss. I'm going to be firing my exploding arrow, and alas, I fired my exploding arrow with the stun, but it was too late, so that's really bad for our team that we've done a lot of work by the looks of things on that boss golem, but actually lost it, so that's going to start pressuring us in this lane. New talents, I'm going to go for a within fire granting movement speed, because in this game it looks as though we really need to, I'm going to need to get away from stuff fast. Few withering fires into a shadow dagger. I'm going to send out my wave of dudes as well. The good news is we've managed to deny this skull golem from doing too much damage to our base. The bad news is of course our opponents are going to be out and about to get mercenaries.
We need to recruit those
Who shall
mercenaries.
gather this one?
Tribute number 2 may actually be the priority at this point. What we cannot really allow is our opponents to grab a second set of tributes. If they do that, then the resulting curse is probably going to make it a good game.
Forward.
So in this situation, it's always best, as a rule of thumb, kill the enemy heroes before you decide to in comes Zeratul from the back, and he's doing some very nasty damage there. So I'm going to continue my DPS. Zerator's got in. We need to make sure that we kill enemy heroes before we... Ooh, that's not good. I've really got myself caught there. Got myself away. 5 seconds before my heroic. I have to try and make it count. Dancing around the edge. I can get this in as an interrupt. There we go. Got an interrupt in there. So,
It's time to even the scales.
could not stay far enough away to dodge the enemy
Do
team there.
not fear. I
So
have survived
my positioning
worse
wasn't
than
great
this.
there. I knew that I was dying. I knew that I managed to get away, but having let loose my ultimate, I should have stayed further away because they just had too much health. Looking a little bit painful here. Not the greatest stats here. Would have probably been some benefit in going through, as we mentioned earlier, a versus bots game or similar first.
We should capture this mercenary camp.
Give the order.
I'm going to go hit up some bruises. You can see we've not really close to level, we're still kind of 3 levels behind, and of course when our opponents get those upgraded heroic abilities, that's going to be pretty painful as well. Time being, I'm going to make sure I give young Malfurion here a little hand.
To the death.
There we go, Max taken.
Gather tribute. I must have it.
Only if we can all go all 3, it would be very good. Getting
Do
knights
not
is always great.
test my patience.
But if there's more of the enemy team than there are of us at this top base, then we're going to probably want to avoid that. I can see Sylvannas running in. Can do a quick bit of damage to Sylvannas. Start doing some DPS. Out comes Zeratul out of stealth.
Make them pay for that.
And I very much paid for that. With offensive slows and stuns, not great positioning. As a ranged specialist, we're kind of lacking the pure out and out damage of a ranged assassin. So you need to play a little bit more clever than I'm playing, really. You need to play a little bit more cautiously around the edges. So a 3 versus 2, but now it's a 3 versus 3. It looks as though we're higher on health and we may actually even get this, but we should try and focus on killing Zeratul there rather than taking a tribute to start with, because that will give the team advantage. However, our opposing team have actually got 4 up. We've missed the window to take that tribute. Looks as though it's going to go from a situation where we had the advantage into pretty much a wipe.
Give the order.
We're not going to get that tribute, so we're going to have to defend up
Choose
and see if we can effectively survive the night. survive the 1 minute curse period. We'll be doing a very good job if we can. Time-wise, I'm going to go for double Haunting Wave. I'm not going to go for the one that makes us do more damage, but makes enemies more vulnerable.
Vengeance is near.
See that Nazeebo, while the curse is on, is doing a nice little pressure on its top lane. So we're going to go up there, throwing the dagger in the midst of everything to help it start spreading its evil poison. So Zeratul trying to put on pressure, but I'm going to try and stay far enough away from him. Got my heroic off, but did not get the nice little stun that I was looking for. So, oh, that was silly of me, but throwing out the zombie wave will mean that I can run, but can I run far enough from those little bugs? Just about.
Let the curse end.
Well, we managed to survive a curse at least, but we're in a little bit of a tricky position. Probably going to be a loss for Team Blue here.
Give the order. What are we? I am well again. Of course.
So at least we got a little bit of burst down there. If I get, I'm not going to have my heroic up in time, but I can see if I couldn't do the whole teleporting. Oh, that was very greedy of me indeed, running after dark. Did not think I was going to get close enough to kill that. Too greedy, too greedy. So our opposing team have hit level 20, they're going to have their upgraded heroic abilities now. Let's have a look at this team fight. Doing okay, we might be able to pick out Zeratul. Zeratul doing a very good job of diving in and diving out, being the melee stealth assassin that he is.
I have no time for gaze. Done.
Okay, like I said, it's time to try farm a bit of XP if we can.
Who can gather this one, I wonder?
I would be very surprised if we get through a full tribute cycle, but we can certainly give it a go. Shadow Dagger into some Withering Fire. Make sure that our Withering Fires are key minions.
Upon us.
Yeah, the Haunting Wave, not going to lie, when I get used to it, I think it's going to be quite a good way of repositioning. Dark putting on some pressure now, I'm going to throw that out, do some damage. But that removes me, I might escape. Oh, I should not have thrown out that Haunting Wave, should have used that to get away. So that's not the fastest runner, even with the wind and evasive fire. I should have fired evasive fire to get the movement speed, to get a little bit further away there, so... a little bit of work, well, a lot of work by me required on positioning, I think. Okay, so could be a final push by our enemy team. 2 of us now. Illidan deciding that he is now complete and suffering for that. We got a Gatchery coming in, trashing the base. A little bit excessive. The enemy team all going as one, moving very well, focusing on players above targets. But given that I'm the only person alive, this is probably going to be a push for the enemy team to win.
Your core is under attack.
Happy managed to dodge. Ooh. Gonna have to get in and see if I can get my Shadow Blade here. There it goes. Second one is down.
We've lost a key.
Let's avoid those frogs, I think. Let's also avoid the Ring of Nazebo Doom. There we go. Nice little bit of closing there. We get a consolation kill on Nazebo. And finally we hit level 20. Means that we can update our abilities. Now we get the access to Deafening Blast. 50% more damage. Silence for twice as long for people at the centre of my explosion. Which we'll try now. There we go. Big 600 damage there you saw triggering out. So we might just be able to catch Dark. Nicely done.
Good kill.
Probably worth denying that tribute if possible. I'm certainly going to try.
Do not test my patience. I will never stop fighting. Never.
So while Bunny Slayer takes the tribute, generally in terms of tribute positioning in a situation like this, it's worth just positioning yourself where you can give yourself a bit more vision. That way, even if you can just slow down the enemy hero, their enemy heroes incoming for a short period, I think it's best if your entire team does it rather than just you. Fairly optimistic of Bunny Slayer, so again, worth positioning yourself in this situation where you can see the enemy team coming, like they are doing so now from the top. Because the enemy team will effectively just want to harass you and then they'll want to kill you. If the enemy team kill you, it doesn't matter who's killed the golem, it's who's standing in the circle to actually trigger it, who gets the effect from it. So I'm going to make sure that I wander around up here. I know that they're coming from this direction. My damage, there's Nazebo. Ooh, okay, I can just quickly escape. Spin that round, managed to grab Zeratul, I can dodge Nazebo, and our team managed to get the golem, which is great stuff. So sometimes just denying your opponent the ability to get close, or harassing them. Obviously if it's a 5 versus 1, then that's going to cause you some problems. And you're going to die, so you've got to try and balance death and doom with other things. I can only harass it.
May my aim be true.
Okay, managed to get a bit of denial in there. If I can get my blade in, I'm not going to kill Arthas, I don't have enough health. I need to run away as fast as I can. Arthas can of course do that whole Syndragosa thing.
Good kill.
So some good harassment. Our team actually getting a little bit more on top of the harassment now. So we might even deny its second tribute if we're quick.
Of course.
However, looks as though Kerrigan is running around stealing mercenaries.
Enemy team dominated.
Yeah, we're actually drawing even, but for the fact that sadly we've just not killed anything of the enemy base. If it may still be a tough job for us to win. Maybe a little bit out of there, but we've certainly caught up. One good thing about Heroes of the Storm, of course, is that you can certainly bounce back a reasonable amount.
Keep eliminated.
So yeah, I could have taken more damaging abilities to actually allow me to kill mercenaries a bit more quickly. So Sylvannas' little direct damage here is quite small. But you can take expert talents that buff this up. There we go. That camp acquired. Going to go up and clean the top lane. Give us a little bit more level advantage as well.
Forward.
Yeah, Haunting Wave is a pretty cool escape. Remember that you can actually cast a second one for free and do it twice if you take the Windrunner talent. I really like Windrunner. So actually, we're now threatening the front of their base, but I think we need to retreat from there because they were slightly low on the health.
I so enjoy watching you.
So decision here, commit to team fight against taking tribute. I'm going to go for the tribute.
My will is my own.
We could actually win. We're actually knocking on the door of their base, although they're knocking on the door of our core. So if I can injure this core, there's 2 of them down compared to 1 of us, so we actually have a man advantage. And this is a very good situation taking tributes. If your team is pushing in the mid, then you can occupy the enemy team, then you've got a really nice option there to just nick a quick tribute.
What's this?
I'm listening.
A hero has left
So
the
having been vastly behind, we suddenly may have a big comeback on our hands.
hero.
We need to push this well, but not overextend too much. I think that given 26 seconds, I'm not sure if we can win in that amount of time. But what we can certainly do is a lot of damage to our opponent's base.
corpse.
Has left the battle.
Of course, picking up any other heroes and putting them on a longer respawn timer it's going to be tough. I don't know.
To the death.
Basically, if we die here, then that's kind of it.
Give the order.
They'll just come in and win. I don't think we can quite do this. Why am I so close? Run away. Core. Oh my goodness, what a comeback. Amazing stuff. There we go. Goes to show, never give up, never surrender, as Galaxy Quest would have you know. So that really swung. Really, really good stuff. So there you go. That's a nice little illustration there of Sylvannas. Not played the best by me at various stages, but we have managed to come and try it. So thanks very much for coming and watching. If you're on YouTube, click the link at the top left. You can see more hero introductions. You can see our more in-depth study of Sylvannas' talents and abilities. Hit the place in the top right. You'll be able to take a look at our other Heroes of the Storm videos. We do a Heroes half hour every now and then. Guides for new Heroes players and new MOBA players as well. Thanks very much for tuning in to Falcraft Casts. I've been Hammy. Take it easy.